Heather Dawson, and this week we're venturing back to Morocco for part 2 of our special series with Marco Gutierrez.
When you think of Morocco, you might imagine things like Marrakesh's Medina, or imagine things like marketplaces offering ceramics and jewelry. But we're heading right back into the Saharan desert for part 2 of the Rallye Aïcha de Gazelles. Every year, women of all ages gather in the Moroccan desert to experience this unique adventure. Every morning at 6 a.m., the first Gazelles start the first leg of this rally. This event has 165 teams, about 330 women, 16 different nationalities, all here for different reasons.
Some girls need this to show them they're strong. Also, some come for the pleasure, some come for the mechanic and driving, and they all come for a nice reason. And then when you're here, you feel like just you, and you go inside yourself. And then when you get back home, you're just like, I did it, so I can do everything now.
All of this is inspiring. My God, to see the villages and to see the people and to see how people are living. I mean, all of that is beauty. Anything that takes you out of your comfort zone and really challenges you, opens up your mind, is essential to work together. I mean, not just as a driver and a navigator on a team like this. It's essential to work together as Gazelles because this is hard terrain. I mean, this is hard to get over. Your car, you will pop a tire. You will need to change a tire. You will get stuck in those sand dunes. And these trucks are beasts. I mean, like, how are you going to get that out just yourself? And, you know, you get lost, you know, and that's, as I said, a very intimidating feeling. So you need to kind of come together. You need to help each other out. And people do in the most amazing way.
People are super friendly, even though we still do have a big language barrier. We barely speak any French to get by, and not everybody here speaks English. But even though with that barrier and with the fact that we are competing, if you ask a question and you're nice, and everybody, so far we have had no problems. We ask and we need help and somebody helps, or we, you know, lend a shovel to somebody like we did the other day. So it's teamwork and the spirit of this sport is nice.
If you want to do it, just do it, and you have to do it. I think it's a wonderful experience. Me, maybe I like to suffer, but I think it's so great to feel lost all day and to see, like, even if you're lost, you will always find a solution. I think that's the goal of this race, is to understand that everything is possible.
So stay tuned for part 3 of the Rallye Aïcha de Gazelles, where we're going to follow along with more competitors and other journalists. You're watching Travelarios. I'm Marco Gutierrez.
The largest regatta series in North America is back, and Audra Stafford shows us why the NOOD always attracts many out-of-town sailors to compete with the local talent.
I'm Audra Stafford here on San Diego Bay, and check it out, we are right in the middle of the NOOD Regatta, the nation's largest sailboat racing series.
After 30 years on the water, the National Offshore One Design Regatta is showing no signs of slowing down.
It's only ever been the only circuit that really ties the major cities and the major premier yacht clubs around the country.
From San Diego to St. Petersburg and cities in between.
Every event around the country has its own unique character, for sure. St. Pete, Florida is much more of a, like I said, vacationing kind of crowd, and these are just California, man. They're just laid back. With Chicago, their sailing season really only goes from, you know, May to end of September if you're lucky. So when they come out, they're just excited.
Although the scenery changes from location to location, the sailors all have to follow the same rules.
The boat with the wind coming over its starboard side always has the right of way.
And the boats themselves must follow one design.
White boat, white sails, you can tell they look pretty much exactly alike, pretty similar to sails. So what it ends up coming down to is that the boats are exactly equal, so the difference in the performance is really sort of the skill of the crew. The smart people know how to use the rules to their advantage.
Sure. But rule number 1 is to just enjoy being out on the water.
It's the disconnect with everything, just the feeling of the boat and just being really hyper aware of what's in the boat and what's out and how you feel. You truly do forget about everything else.
From San Diego, I'm Audra Stafford.
Coming up, Chief Marketing Officer of DataBlock, Adam Mittelberg, is showing us the ins and outs of cryptocurrency and the climate of cybercurrency. Most of us are familiar with Bitcoin, and here to talk about cryptocurrency is the Chief Marketing Officer of DataBlock Chain, where he oversees the most comprehensive marketing data solution available to businesses. Joining us in studio is Adam Mittelberg. Thank you so much, Adam, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Now, this is something that a lot of people really don't know about. Can you give me just a little bit of background of what you do?
Sure. At DataBlock Chain, what we're looking to do is really disrupt the data industry with a revolutionary platform that allows for businesses of any size to access big data and be able to find the crucial information they need to operate their business.
How important is it for a small business to have this kind of data?
It's extremely important. In today's environment, the way in which you're going to be able to grow and drive profitability is to be able to have access to critical information. And what we're doing is we're allowing for an individual or small business to be able to go to a single destination and have access to hundreds, if not thousands, of different data providers. And that gives them an equal ground to all of these large players that are out there that today can get to those big data providers. And they need to be able to do it in an affordable way.
And how does this play with the cryptocurrency?
The really exciting part about it is what's called blockchain, and that's the underlying technology behind these cryptocurrencies. And what blockchain is, it's the most innovative form of secure technology that we have ever seen. And through that comes really amazing innovation. And what we're doing is, by incorporating blockchain and our own artificial intelligence and machine learning, we're enabling these small businesses to come in to access the data, but we're also empowering the data providers that are out there with a secure, trustworthy platform for them to be able to monetize their data, and that's due to blockchain.
What about an individual? Is this really just for small businesses, or could just a person want this service as well?
So whether you're an individual, small business, large business, you're going to be able to benefit from DataBlock Chain.
And how would somebody find out about it?
They could visit us at datablockchain.io and learn all about our organization.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on our show and explaining this a little bit for us.
Thank you.
As families settle into back-to-school routines, healthy, convenient meal solutions can help everyone get back on track without sacrificing time, taste, or quality. Here to help is dietitian, New York Times best-selling author, and mom, Frances Largeman-Roth. Thank you so much for joining us today, Frances.
Thanks so much for having me.
So what is the secret to creating healthy, convenient meals?
Well, I have 4 kids at home, so back to school season is always hectic. And for me, a little planning and also keeping things simple really helps me out. And in my books, Eating in Color and Everyday Snack Tray, I focus on easy ways to make nutritious food colorful, fun, and appealing. And that starts with the right ingredients. I love shopping at Sprouts Farmers Market because I can find so many great options for easy after-school snacks and simple family dinners.
So what specific items should families include?
Well, when things get busy, as they will when school starts, convenience really is going to help you save the day. And I love shopping at Sprouts because they weave healthy convenience into the shopping experience. I love their fresh and organic seasonal produce, like organic gold kiwi, on-the-vine tomatoes, cucumbers, and summer squash. My kids especially love the peachy blue blueberries with their white peach flavor. And for little to no prep, I'll grab a Sprouts family dinner or one of their roasted organic chickens, and that helps to put those meals on the table quickly. I like variety during the week because it helps to break up the monotony, and I always start with seasonal veggies and then I add a quality protein. Sprouts has some delicious, easy to cook options like the citrus herb salmon meal with bright citrus flavor or the savory garlic lemon chicken meal. And as a mom, I am loving Sprouts' new viral family meals. You choose 2 proteins and 2 sides for 4 servings, all under $30, and you just order it 48 hours in advance on the app or at sprouts.com, and then you pick it up at the deli counter and you can literally check dinner off your list.
All these look delicious. Do you have any suggestions for after-school snacks?
Yes, absolutely. I love to make a snack tray, wrote a whole book about them, but you need to have those items for the snack tray. I start with seasonal produce, of course, and then I add string cheese, PB&J dippers, organic trail mix, or a deli snacker. And even my picky eater loves the new mochi puffs for a fun crunch, and sprout smoothies are great too.
That is so amazing. Where can people go for more information?
They can go to their local Sprouts Farmers Market or sprouts.com.
Thank you so much for your time today, Frances. We can't wait to start eating some delicious meals.
Happy back to school.
New data coming out of the 26th International AIDS Conference highlights new insights to the latest HIV treatment innovations that are reshaping the future of care. Joining us to discuss the importance of providing people with HIV options when it comes to HIV care is Dr. Jean Van Wyk, Chief Medical Officer at ViiV Healthcare, the only pharmaceutical company 100% dedicated to HIV. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, how has the U.S. HIV epidemic evolved over the past decade?
You know, unfortunately, many people think that the HIV epidemic is a thing of the past, but that's not true. It remains a very important public health issue that we have to pay attention to. In the US, we have approximately 1.2 million people living with HIV, but importantly, we see about 39,000 new infections every year. So that's more than 100 new infections diagnosed every day. So this epidemic is certainly continuing.
Wow. And what recent research in HIV treatment are you excited about?
Yes, there are a lot to be excited about. There are many treatment options available to people with HIV today. Firstly, make sure that you know your status so that you can access therapy, because by accessing therapy, you look after your own health, but also the health of the ones you love, because you cannot pass the virus on if you're on effective therapy. One of the things that we were able to show at the AIDS conference, which happened a couple of weeks ago down in Rio, and the biggest conference of its kind in the HIV treatment space, was a study called the VOGUE study, where we looked at a 2-drug regimen called Dovato versus a 3-drug regimen. Now, the reason I mentioned 2 and 3 drugs is because traditionally we use 3-drug combinations to treat HIV so that we can try and prevent the virus from evolving and developing resistance. And in VOGUE, what we were able to show is that you can actually use the 2-drug regimen with similar efficacy outcomes, and importantly, no resistance development after a year of treatment. So continuing evolution and innovation in the treatment space, this is one additional option for people that they can choose from in combination with their healthcare providers to ensure that they access good therapy.
Well, this is amazing information. Where can people go to find more?
So the medication I just mentioned is called Dovato, which is, of course, as with any medication, you can have potential side effects. So information on the side effect profile and the safety profile can be found on dovato.com, and that will also give additional information on the trial I just discussed.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on Coast to Coast. We really appreciate it.
Well, as teens gear up for back to school, sports, and college move-in, parents should be aware of a rare but very serious illness called meningococcal disease.
Anyone can get meningococcal disease, but this is particularly relevant for parents sending teens off to college because certain everyday behaviors like kissing, sharing utensils, sharing food, can spread the bacteria that cause this disease. Now, meningococcal disease, also known as bacterial meningitis, is an uncommon but serious illness that can cause permanent complications or even death.
Devastating consequences, and while many children are vaccinated against meningitis, this particular strain is usually not included.
So I was 20 years old when I got sick with meningococcal disease. You know, my first onset symptoms were very flu-like, and then it progressed quite rapidly within one evening. It was pretty scary quite immediately, and I saw my limbs go from red rash to purple to black to literally dying off.
So as students head back to college, there is a new campaign focusing on warning students and parents about the dangers of meningococcal disease.
Having received the call from the hospital that I need to get to Jamie immediately was quite scary. If there's anything that I can say, again, as a parent, please to talk to your teen's doctor. Visit the GSK asktobesure.com page. Get yourself empowered, informed.
Indeed. So if you are sending a child off to college, get yourself aware and make sure you know everything you need to know about meningococcal disease. I'm David Wiley for Coast to Coast.
Registered dietitian Marina Chaparro says it's important to focus on building balanced meals that include more healthy fats and fiber.
Healthy fats and fiber slow digestion, which supports stable blood sugar and can increase feelings of fullness, helping you manage appetite and healthy weight over time.
Chaparro says one food that makes it easier to get both healthy fats and fiber is avocados.
Avocados contain healthy fats and fiber in one nutrient-dense package. A growing body of research and materials from Avocados Love One Today, a science-based resource, suggests fresh avocados offer weight management benefits, may help with type 2 diabetes management, and play a role in blood sugar management. My new favorite summer recipe is this avocado and blueberry chia pudding. Just mix your ingredients in a blender and chill overnight. In the morning, you top off with granola, blueberries, and fresh avocados and serve. One serving delivers healthy fats and contains half of the daily recommended amount of fiber. An easy, filling breakfast or snack.
Find more recipes at loveonetoday.com/avocados.
The American Red Cross is calling on the public to donate blood after the nation's blood supplies dropped nearly 25% in June. Here to talk about why it's so important to boost the nation's blood supply is Dr. Courtney Lawrence, Division Chief Medical Officer at the American Red Cross. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So the Red Cross has declared an emergency blood shortage. How serious is the situation and what's driving this shortage?
We're really approaching a crisis situation. We saw in the month of June at the American Red Cross that the national blood supply decreased by 25%. And this comes at a really critical period. Between Memorial Day and Labor Day is what we call a high trauma season, meaning that we can see more people who had an unexpected injury or had an accident that are coming to the hospital to potentially need a blood transfusion to help them recover.
Yeah, absolutely. And what makes summer such a challenging time for the nation's blood supply?
So we know that the need for blood remains high as we see more and more people doing outdoor activities like hiking, biking, boating, or even simple routine lawn care. It is an opportunity for potential injury. At the same time, we're also seeing more cars on the road as people are traveling, and more cars mean increased car accidents. So that coupled with a decline in blood donors coming out to donate, and that really is driven by a busy summer season. Many of our schools and community partners who hold blood drives throughout the year are taking their summer breaks. People are not following their usual routine. And so that's when we tend to see that gap widen between the ongoing high need and yet the decreased number of blood donors coming in to donate.
And who relies on donated blood, and why is it so important for hospitals to have blood ready and available?
So I think many people are unaware that someone needs a blood transfusion every 2 seconds in the United States. I practiced as a pediatric hematologist, and so I saw firsthand that blood could save lives from someone who had an unexpected bleeding event, or that someone, say, with sickle cell disease might require blood transfusions every few weeks just to stay healthy enough to not have to be in the hospital. And if we don't have enough blood to stock the shelves of our hospitals, it means the doctors are having to make very difficult decisions about which patients need to receive a blood transfusion now and which patients may have to wait. I also just want to point out, to make an appointment to donate, someone can just go to redcrossblood.org, call 1-800-RED-CROSS, or download the Red Cross Blood Donor app.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for this life-saving advice, and I hope that people will make it out and start to donate blood.
And that's it for us. If you missed any part of our show, go to our website. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm your host, Heather Dawson. We'll see you next time.